Howdy folks, it's Monty with XS Sights, and today we're going to install one of our new optic mounting plates on a Walther PDP. All right, so let's get started. Obviously, first thing we're going to need is our Walther. We do need to field strip it. We'll get there momentarily. We're going to need our optic plate and mounting hardware, included in the package, obviously, Loctite. That's one of our mounting screws. There's the other screw. Now those are for an RMR to plate. We also have some longer screws in the kit for mounting an SRO to the plate. We have the plate. We have our T10 Torx bit driver. We have Loctite. And we have our screws to mount the plate to the slide. We're also going to need, obviously, our optic. In this case, it's an RMR, so the battery actually installs from the underside, so we're going to need our battery. We're going to need a screwdriver handle. Just needs to take a 1/4 inch hex bit so that we can put the T10 bit in it. Lens wipes, Q-tips, paper towels, some form of degreaser. We like gun scrubber, rubbing alcohol works, acetone works, nail polish remover, all the above work. And coffee. Coffee is important. So to get started, we're going to field strip our pistol. So slides locked to the rear. We're going to visually and physically inspect both the mag well and the chamber to ensure that it is unloaded. We're going to close the slide and we're going to pull down on the disassembly lever, dry fire, and the slide will come off the frame. Don't need the barrel or the recoil spring, so we're just going to pull those out, stash them off to the side. Okay, we've got everything field stripped. Before we get too deep into this, we're going to go ahead and do a dry fit, just because then we know how everything goes together. So we're going to take our plate. If you'll notice, we have these 2 recoil lugs here for our optic, and that additional 3rd recoil lug to help stabilize everything up front. That obviously goes towards the front of the gun. We're going to drop it into the slot. Everything looks good, feels good. Take our screws. And especially right now, we're just dry fitting. I'm just going to run it in finger tight. That's all it needs, because we're just double checking everything before we start adding the thread locker. All right, no problem there. We'll go ahead, drop the optic on, make sure we like how all that's fitting. Quick click down at my screw holes, and same thing, we're just going to run these in finger tight for a second to make sure that we're happy with how everything's going together. All right, everything looks great. We're going to go ahead, yank it all apart real quick, degrease it, and actually do the install for real. So I'm going to start off with a paper towel, and we're going to clean our screws real quick. I'm just going to spray a little of this on the corner of a towel. And the only thing I'm really worried about is the threads. And we're going to clean the threads on all the screws. Next up, we want to clean the thread holes in the slide. This is where we've got these pointed Q-tips. These are really handy for this. If you can find some of those, that's great. A pipe cleaner would work really good, because I want to try and get down in that hole and make sure that we don't have any oil, dirt, debris, anything like that, so that the thread locker can actually adhere. And I'm going to take and kind of degrease this ridge right here between those screw holes. And the same thing on this groove in our optic plate. This is the underside of the optic plate. All right, give it a minute for everything to dry. While that's happening, get our Loctite out. All right, that should be good to go, dry enough to work. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come into this groove on the underside of the plate. I'm gonna give it a drop of Loctite, kind of towards the front, towards the middle, and towards the rear. A little extra insurance. Set it down in my cut on the slide, grab my first screw. A magnetic screwdriver handle would make life slightly easier. I just didn't grab the magnetic one. We're going to put a single drop of that Threadlocker on the screw. Get the screw in the hole, and we're just going to start it. We only want a couple of threads. We'll just get it a little started. We're going to repeat the process with the other screw. All right, so I don't have a torque wrench handy. The torque spec on these screws is 6 to 8 inch-pounds, which is not much. Basically, I'm going to use my screwdriver and just come in finger tight. I'm using my thumb, middle, and ring finger. I'm going to go till it just stops. Again, we're not going farmer tight, just snugging it up. Okay. Before I put the Optic on, since the Optic has to be loaded from the bottom, a lot of the newer 2032 batteries have a bittering agent on top of them to help prevent children from swallowing these batteries. A couple of my buddies at the local PD have said that they've seen some issues with battery performance on some of the newer stuff. So they've taken to using a lens wipe to make sure that that bittering agent kind of gets cleaned off the outside, and they say that seems to help. So we're going to go ahead, use one of these Zeiss lens cloths, and just give that battery a rub down to kind of get any kind of bittering agent that may be on there off, so the battery can perform a little better. Put my battery in. My brain is not working, so I'm going to get it kind of to cooperate and get in here. The appropriate way. Give it a quick check and make sure that I've got a dot. We'll drop this in place. We're going to repeat that whole process with one screw at a time, get it started, and then we'll snug it down. Again, just 1 or 2 threads to get started. We'll get the other one started, and then we'll torque it into place. Same thing, torque spec is 6 to 8 inch-pounds, so very lightly snug them up, make sure they're both snug, and then torque it into final position. If you've got a torque wrench, that's great. I really recommend using it. Like I said, mine's buried out in the truck somewhere. There we go. That's installed. We can reassemble the firearm. We want to let that Loctite sit really overnight before we take it to the range to 0. We really want that Loctite to set up good. So. And there we have it. We have installed the new XS optic plate for the Walther PDP with a Trijicon RMR.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Also, be sure to be following us on Instagram and Facebook to be up to speed in all the new things that we're doing. If you guys want early access into some of those cool things that we're doing, make sure that you're signed up for our email newsletter. You guys get exclusive discounts, early promos, and like I said, insights to all the new things that we're doing. As an American-made, family-owned company, Our mission is to empower the good guy to be more confident, self-reliant, and prepared through functional weapon upgrades. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.